rolling out of the south at Soldier Field in Chicago. Jim McMahon leads the Bears out of their locker room to the frozen field of battle here this afternoon. They are really gladiators, aren't they? Getting ready to do battle in a situation like this. The 49ers, with 2 Super Bowl championships in this decade, trying to become the team of the decade. The 2 defenses will be introduced here today, and why not? This figures to be a low-scoring, tough, brutal, defensive, hand-to-hand combat game. Dick Butkus, overall, how good is this 49er defense, and what do they do best of all?
Well, they're good, Brent, and they move real well. They got 4 good people back there playing linebacker. You know, they got Haley, this guy right here, Michael
Number
Carter.
75 from Miami of Florida, Kevin Fagan. Left outside linebacker, number 94 from James Madison, Charles
I would be
Haley.
surprised to see this 49er defense really playing well.
Inside linebacker,
Many people oftentimes talk about their offense and how great it is, and they have a great defensive team, and anytime this defense is really challenged, they come up with great efforts.
Number 99 from Oregon, Michael Walter. Let's go now. Outside linebacker, number 58 from Purdue, Keena Turner. Corner, number 22 from Texas Arlington, Tim McKyer. Right corner, number 29 from Middle Tennessee State, Don Griffin. At strong safety, number 49 from Texas A&M, Jack Fuller. And at free safety, number 42 from Southern Cal is Ronnie Lott. Introducing head coach Bill Walsh, his assistants, and the rest of the San Francisco 49ers.
Now it'll be the Bears defense, and they have been tough all year long, especially here in Soldier Field. They were beaten badly by Minnesota, but they've dominated every other offense in Chicago.
From Arizona State, Al Harris. At left tackle, number 76 from Texas, Steve McMichael. At right tackle, number 99 from Arkansas, Dan Hampton. Number 97 from Grambling, Sean Smith. At left linebacker, number 59 from California, Ron Rivera. At middle linebacker, number 50 from Baylor, Mike Singletary. At right linebacker, number 51 from Michigan State, Jim Morrissey. Corner, number 27 from Arizona State, Mike Richardson. At right corner, number 24 from Washington, Vesti Jackson. At strong safety, number 22 from Notre Dame, Dave Duerson. And at free safety, number 37 from Kentucky, Maurice Douglas. The Bears head coach, the Hall of Famer, Mike Ditka, his assistants, and the rest of the Chicago Bears.
No domes, no artificial surface, just good old-fashioned football. And the war of attrition is about to start in Soldier Field.
First people to thank to the Brown family and Paul and to Mr. Sawyer and everybody that hung in there with us. But the next guys that get the least credit of all of it and do as much work or more really than anybody of the position coaches. Every one of the position coaches worked their tails off. Didn't get what I got a little bit of praise when we won. I got a little bit of heat when we didn't. But man, you all did a great job, players, staff, quarterbacks, the Alberts of the world, all of us.
All right, Coach, now before the game, a little bit of controversy about the hurry-up offense. Did that bother you a lot?
Well, it bothered us. It aggravated the situation a little bit, but I think the ball club proved one thing, that they can maintain their poise when things weren't going exactly the way the script was written. We came back and did it another way.
All right, that's the mark of a champ. How about the fake punt? That was a great call.
That was Icky's call, and I thought he did a pretty good job. Now, we'd worked on that one for about 3 or 4 weeks. We've been trying to get it in ever since the Dallas game, but finally did it.
All right, got to be proud of your defense. You know, it was a big story here was the offense. But but the defense came through.
Well, we're proud of the defense. I promised the SWAT team, I don't know their names or anything, but I promised our SWAT team that I'd mention their names, our defensive backs. The special teams did a great job. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Over Minnesota. Haunted by a recent history of playoff futility, San Francisco's big play performers were finally able to break loose, while their unheralded defense played with determination and fire. And now that the critics have been silenced, the 49ers must step back on stage for another curtain call. It has not been a casual season in Chicago for Mike Ditka and the Bears. They have endured a shuffle in quarterbacks and injuries at key positions. But turmoil is part of this team's character, and last week, that character surfaced under playing conditions only the Bears could love. And when the fog settled in, only the men in blue were left standing up as Chicago emerged from the dark with the light of an NFC.
The winner of this game will face Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. Now let's go down to the field and the toss of the coin.
To see if the team that wins takes the ball or the win.
Bob McElwee is the referee.
Tails, he says.
And now the choice.
San Francisco.
Summerall here with John Madden. And John, I think before we talk about strategy, you have to talk about the weather and particularly the wind.
Well, that's the thing. I know that in any weather, adrenaline is an amazing thing. And once these guys get out here, and you can just see them in the introductions, they're all fired up and they're ready to go. And I know yesterday when we were talking to the Bears that they were happy to have this game here, happy to have this game at Soldier Field. And maybe the guy who's looking forward to this game the most very could well be Jim McMahon.
Certainly.
He didn't know that he was going to be the starter until Friday. Mike Ditka told him, he said, I don't know if I'm going to be here next year. There's been talk about trades. This is the toughest year that I ever had, but I'll guarantee you one thing. If this is my last game here, I'm going to go out with a bang.
And John, you think about the 49ers, that brings thoughts to your mind about California and the warm weather. And they won't be able to accommodate their game plan or anything to this cold weather. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that they've been looking forward to this game, and they've been waiting for this game, and they have a plan. And the last time they played the Bears here, they lost 10-9, and Bill Walsh said he was too conservative. He was too worried about pass protection. He only put 2 guys out, kept everyone in, and he said, this time we're coming in here to play Bear football. We're coming in here to attack the Bears. We're not going to stand around and wait on offense and see who they're bringing or stand around on defense. We are going after these guys.
And this weather is going to bother the throwers and the kickers, and it's going to be the 49ers' first Mike Kofer to kick it off. Very strong leg. Back deep for the Bears, Thomas Sanders and Dennis Gentry. Gentry's 29. The wind will go from Kofer's left to right and strong up with gusts up to about 40 miles an hour. And believe me, it is cold. They sent Terry Greer up to hold the ball because he couldn't keep it on the tee.
As we said, in a football game, the worst thing is the wind. Wind is always worse than cold or snow or rain or anything.
Ball only got to about the 24-yard line where Sanders picked it up and returned at 12. Jim McMahon, his first start since October the 30th. His longest layoff between starts. He'll look at a front 3 for the 49ers of Roberts, Carter, and Fagan. To begin with, they change a lot. The linebackers Haley, Funhorst, Michael Walter, the 2 in the middle, and Keena Turner starting on the outside now. In the secondary, McKyer and Griffin in the corners, Lott and Fuller. 2 dangerous, tough, excellent safety men. Those are the 2 they think they have to get blocked. Jim McMahon.
Mike Ditka said yesterday he's going to start off with a pass the first play of the game.
They put Neil Anderson out wide to the right, out of the backfield. They put McKinnon in motion. They run a reverse, or try to. The 49ers read it perfectly. Michael Walter on the stop of McKinnon. The Bear offense, McMahon starting at quarterback. Anderson and Suey the setbacks. Gentry, McKinnon, and James Thornton will do most of the playing at tight end. Covert, Bortz, Hilgenberg, Thayer, and Van Horn up front. Second 14, Bears. It's hard to say who has the wind and who doesn't. Brad Muster brought into play. McMahon gets it up the middle of Thornton. To about the 37-yard line, stopped by Walter. Gain of 10.
You know, that's the kind of passing that I think we're going to see all day, Pat, is that inside passing, the passing between the numbers, and the quick drop back, the quick release, the quick throw. And both of these quarterbacks, both Jim McMahon and Joe Montana, are excellent at that type of football.
And under these weather conditions, that's about all they're going to be able to do, don't you think?
It's darn near impossible to throw an out, a comeback, a corner, or a fly or deep pattern.
Bears with 4 wide receivers. And McMahon puts Gentry in motion. Now he comes back the other way. Fake to Gentry. Incomplete. Stopped by McKyer. And the Bears will have to punt it.
That was an interesting play. You don't see that much. It was a bootleg out of the shotgun formation. So you can see that one of the things the Bears want to do is move their quarterback around, not let McMahon be a sitting target.
Brian Wagner will punt for the Bears. That's John Taylor, number 82. Back to return it, if he can handle it, for the 49ers. Wagner's kick, good one. Excellent. Taylor out of bounds. 14-yard line. Good kick. 47-yarder. Joe Montana. And he'll be looking at a Chicago Bear defense that finished second in the NFL. Harris, McMichael, and Hampton, and Sean Smith in place of Richard Dent. Rivera, Singletary in the middle, of course. Jim Morrissey. And the secondary, Richardson, Jackson on the corners, Douglas and Dewerson deep. And the crowd is already into this game. Dewerson on a blitz. This is Roger Craig. Right side out of bounds, and believe me, outside those sideline markers, it's like being on cement. Montana, Craig, and Rathman, the runners. Taylor, Rice, John Frank, the tight end. He was unavailable the first time these two teams played. Wallace, Sapolu, Randy Cross the center, Guy McIntyre and Harris, Martin up front, second and 6. Craig got 4. Split backs this time. Montana, quick drop to Craig and complete. Morrissey. Dewerson on a blitz 2 times in a row now.
Yeah, we were talking to Bill Walsh. We see him there in the sideline, Steve Young giving the signals. Last night he said because of this noise and playing on the road, they've really eliminated their audible system. They're going to play this game with just leaving the plays on. Have very few, if any, audibles.
3rd down. And you can see why they wouldn't have any audibles. Montana flushed out of the pocket, gets it to Rathman. No first down. He got 5, just about a yard short of what they needed first down.
That'll give them just enough to have to punt the ball. This is the way the last time they played, Pat. 10-9, a great defensive game. A great defensive game by both sides.
Barry Helton will do the punting. Dennis McKinnon will do the returning. Again, it's hard to say what the direction of the wind is, because down on that field it is swirling and very uncomfortable. Not much of a kick. 49ers down it at the Bear 49. A 28-yard kick and a flag on the play. A late penalty marker comes flying out. The referee again is Bob McElwee.
I tell you, both of these teams are fired up. I don't think I've ever seen the 49ers as emotionally ready for a game as I have the last 2 weeks.
After the play, dead ball foul, personal foul, 37 receiving team. 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
It had to be. Mike Ditka was out there going crazy at Maurice Douglas. Boy, was he upset with him. He knew he had the ball at the 50, and now he's all the way back to the 35.
Very costly. Ditka's not supposed to get excited, but he is. Back at Soldier Field, Chicago. Pat Summerall, John Madden, the NFC Championship game. The winner to face Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. In 2 weeks, it is cold, windy. The wind chill factor 33 degrees below zero. 1st and 10 Bears at their own 34. Mars is the man in motion. That's Neil Anderson. Stopped by Larry Roberts, but he got 4 yards.
Well, they're running right in there at that 49er triangle we talked about. But I'll tell you, Jay Hilgenberg does a nice job. Watch the center fire out on Michael Carter. The way he figures is that he's quicker. See, he can get to Carter before Carter can get to him. Then just keep him and take him the way he wants to go.
2nd and 6. Muster now is in the backfield with Anderson for the Bears. That's Anderson in motion. And McMahon back to throw it out to 1st down Chicago. Ball came loose. The 49ers say they have it. Another fracas going on down at the other end of the field. Keena Turner might have come up with the ball.
I have no idea how McMahon got rid of that ball. He got pressure right up the middle and threw it out here sidearm.
49ers with the ball.
Jim McMahon told us yesterday the only way he thinks that they can lose to the 49ers is with turnovers. Yeah, that ball is caught and fumbled and recovered inbounds.
By Keena Turner. McKyer made the hit.
McKyer makes a good tackle, hits him. Now, he didn't knock the ball out. The ball fell out when Anderson went down.
They're going to have another look.
Well, they could rule that the penalty, that the fumble was because of the ground, not because of the hit. But it was because of the hit.
Yeah,
you
it
can
was.
see it there. Now, that's a 49ers ball. Great play by Tim McKyer, because he hit the ball and he started it loose on Anderson.
You get into that situation where Keena Turner stepped out of bounds and then came back in to make the recovery. That's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, he can do that, and he was lucky that he got all his body back in.
Replay official is Al Sabato.
You know, this could be the end of the replay. There's a lot of talk that it won't be voted in this next year by the owners. In fact, Bill Walsh is one of the guys that says he's against it. But I think it's a good thing. I know that it's easy, it's very vulnerable, it's easy to criticize, but I think it's gotten to be an important part of football.
What part of officiating is not easy to criticize?
That's right. I mean, these guys basically do a heck of a job, but their job is a very vulnerable job. And we're going to see it from the reverse angle again. Watch McKyer hit. Now you see the ball come out, see, before he ever gets down. So the ball was knocked out as a result of the hit. Now, Keena Turner, is he inbounds when he recovers a fumble? Yes.
So they're still studying. 49ers right now have the ball, but they haven't moved the chains as yet as the snow starts to come down now.
I think that's one of the biggest criticisms of instant replay. they've seen, and they see the same pictures we do. I don't know why they're taking so much time. And this is the toughest thing for the players, you know, because adrenaline takes over, and you get fired up when you're playing. But boy, it's hard to have adrenaline firing you up when you're just standing there waiting for instant replay.
I think if you're going to sit here as a spectator, you might need a little bit more than adrenaline.
I don't know where they get it. They're the tough ones.
2 minutes and 15 seconds. This delay has lasted now as they review and continue to.
And I don't know
than that.
And I don't know what it is. But I'm sure when you get to a championship game, you want it straight.
We have a completed pass, but the recovering man came from out of bounds to recover the ball. He's ineligible to do that. Ball goes back to Chicago.
Well, now, he did go out of bounds, no question about that, but I thought you could do that.
I did too. Because he is out of bounds. He's making a tackle. I guess they say that no one can come back inbounds. He wasn't out of bounds when he made the recovery. I thought that was legal.
In any case, unless there's further debate, Bob McElwee has said that the Bears have the ball.
They're saying that Keenan Turner, because he was out of bounds, can't come back in. I know he can't recover it. But he could step on the line and come back in and recover it.
3rd and 2 for Chicago.
I would just about be sure of that.
3rd and 2, Chicago is the call.
I know a guy can't go out of bounds and come back in and catch a pass, but he can go out of bounds, come back in and catch a tip pass.
We had that happen last week here, except for a penalty in the backfield, not that violation.
I think that was a big break for the Bears either way.
3rd and 2, Bears at their own 42. Anderson, first down, Bears.
There's a tough guy, Neil Anderson. He's had a bad leg. He's had a pulled hamstring. It's been a pulled groin. He has a tough time practicing, but as Mike Ditka said, I'll guarantee you when Sunday comes, he's going to gut it up and play. And he not only has the speed, the quickness of moves, but he has good power, too.
5'11", 210. Neil Anderson, big shoes to fill. Here's McMahon. Almost picked off and almost caught at the same time by Wendell Davis. Ronnie Lott was the defender.
Hey, if you're going to throw in the middle, you better find number 42, Ronnie Lott. This guy is the best free safety in football. And he always knows. He's very smart. He's a bright football player. In fact, he's a football player. That's what the guy is. Watch him here, 42. He reads McMahon. McMahon steps that way and throws the other way, and watch Lott reaction to it. He just dropped the ball. But he's equally good there. And then when you run, he plays like a linebacker.
He's one of those guys that sort of just hides in the secondary. Here's Anderson again. Tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by Jeff Fuller. No gain.
You see Tom Thayer come out there and take on Fuller. Mike Ditka was saying last night that to run, we have to block number 49 and number 42. Of course, that's the two safeties of the 49ers. They sent their guard, Tom Thayer, out on Fuller, and Fuller just jammed him right there. There's a guy who's a half a linebacker, half nose tackle, and half safety.
Both those safety men are, Fuller and Lott.
Look at the size of him. He brings a big load when he comes up there. He doesn't bring one of those little defensive back loads.
4 wide receivers for the Bears on 3rd and 9. McMahon. McKinnon at midfield. Gain of 4, no first down, stopped by Fuller.
I can see, I think it was interesting that You know, when you play against the 49ers, that's the only time that a coach will mention the safeties. You know, they usually mention the front four, the linebackers, but anytime you play the 49ers, they're always going to talk about Ronnie Lott and Fuller.
You better.
Yeah, because they probably make 75% of the plays.
Wagner, the punter for the Bears. John Taylor, deep for the 49ers. Off the side of his foot. You would expect a shank weather like this, and you got one. 12-yard punt. That's all. Nothing the score at Soldier Field, frigid Soldier Field, Chicago. The NFC Championship at stake. Soldier Field, Chicago. That's downtown, the loop and above. 8:48 left in the first quarter. Here's that controversial play again, John. And the rule apparently is that you have to have established the fact that you're back in bounds. And apparently the ruling is that he had not established that. He has to have both feet back in bounds.
Well, I knew a guy could go out of bounds, come back in and recover the fumble. So what the rule was, they said he didn't reestablish it, but he looked like he had both feet into me there too.
Montana to Rathman, 49ers in their territory. Maurice Douglas knocked him out of bounds, but Rathman got a first down for San Francisco and more.
Last night, Joe Montana was saying, you know what, Roger Craig is a great back, and Jerry Rice and all that. He said, but the guy that I would like to get more involved in the offense is Tom Rathman. He says, I can throw him a short pass like this, and so when he gets out in the open field and runs with his shoulder square, he's really tough to bring down.
Montana to his right. Pass intended for John Frank. Incomplete. Singletary on the coverage.
You know, there's two tough guys. Mike Singletary going against John Frank. You notice one thing? Neither one of them have any of that long underwear stuff on. Yeah, those guys that go out there, tough guys don't wear long underwear. I know that. Watch it. Watch 86 come in there. He's in his shirt sleeves. So is the guy who's tackling.
2nd and 10, and again the crowd becomes a factor. Blitz coming after Montana, and down he goes in the hands of Al Harris.
That's Al Harris's job, Pat. They know that any time that Montana's going to run, it's going to be out here to the right. So they're going to bring him right here to get in Montana's face. If he's going to move, it's always going to be to the right. And Al Harris's job is to take care of him. He has Montana. Don't let him get outside. That time he did it perfectly.
3rd and 22, and Montana throws a screen pass to Craig. Roger Craig hit by Singletary, and the 49ers again will have to punt. He got 10 yards. But they needed more than that. Barry Helton to punt for the 49ers, and Dennis McKinnon is number 85 for the Bears.
Well, these Bear fans appreciate that defense, don't they?
They always have.
I think they lead the league in standing ovations for their defensive team.
Kick. McKinnon is going to stay away from it. Takes a Bear bounce. 49ers will down it at about the Bear 14 run. Heller was the first one down, and so it's still 0-0 with 7:15 left in the first quarter. Downtown Chicago. And we're just south of downtown Chicago at Soldier Field. The NFC Championship game. Pat Summerall, John Madden, 0-0 first quarter. 7:15, 1st and 10 Bears. Sanders, Muster are now the Bear runner. Sanders stopped by Fuller at the 30
one thing that the Bears do is they're handling that triangle up there. They're going to run straight at it. Watch Hilgenberg in there, Port's in there, Thayer in there, getting movement and giving Thomas Sanders a hole to run through.
And a good block by Suey in front of him.
Thomas Sanders plays every third series for Neil Anderson.
Muster. Bears' #1 choice stopped after a gain of perhaps 2.
Yeah, this is the way the Bears substitute their people. It's kind of interesting with the fullbacks, Matt Suey and Brad Muster. They bring them in with the plays, every play, so those two switch. Now with the wide receivers, they do it by series. McKinnon and Gentry get a series, and then Davis and Ron Morris get a series, so every other series. Then the halfbacks, Neil Anderson plays 2 series, then Thomas Sanders plays the 3rd series.
Right now it's Sanders and Suey. That's Suey. By Haley. A gain of 3. It looks so innocent from up here as far as weather is concerned, but looks like it's about, what, 16 degrees? And with the wind blowing like it is, it's, they say, with the wind chill factor down about 33 below.
And, you know, and that's the good news, Pat. With the game starting at 3 o'clock local time, I'll guarantee it's going to get worse. I mean, it's going to get colder when the sun goes down, and it's going to get windier.
A lot of friends here that you won't recognize. Just trying to stay warm. No flag. Intended for Gentry. Tom Holmoe, the defender, along with Fuller.
Look at McMahon. He ran 40 yards downfield to argue with that official.
Or to stay warm.
No, I think he saw it. Usually the 2 guys that see it is one, the guy who threw it, and the guy who's going to catch it. And they both jump up complaining.
Wagner again to punt. In the direction of John Taylor. Pro Bowl bound is Taylor as a return specialist. So you know he's dangerous. Line drive punt. Takes a 49er hop this time. And San Francisco will take over at their own 38. A 27-yard punt this time. 4:46 now left to play in the first quarter. 0-0 in the NFC Championship. 0-0. 4:46 left to play in the first quarter. Pat Summerall, John Madden. That's the play selection so far. 49er ball, and the handoff is to Roger Craig. He is wrapped up at the 40 by Al Harris.
Harris is a guy, Pat, that is having a great year at the end of the year and going unnoticed. Last week against the Eagles, he had to take Cunningham when he would come out to that side. He batted Cunningham's passes down 3 times. This time, in this game, he has Joe Montana on the rollout and Roger Craig on the cutback. And the last 2 series, we've seen him handle both of them.
Bear showing blitz. Here comes Durison. There goes Craig, and he slips. Field stopped by Richardson. That part of the field, John, is nothing but sand. There is no grass there. And as the day goes on, it's going to get harder and harder.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a battle. I mean, this isn't going to be a pretty thing. This is going to be 4 quarters of ugly, with the winning team really deserving to get to the warmth from Miami.
Taylor is split wide to the left and Rice to the right. Montana back to throw it to Rice. Pass caught by Jerry Rice, and look out for this one. Touchdown from 61 yards away. Richardson and Crum were close, but Rice came down with it.
And that was a heck of a throw by Joe Montana. If you told me today that Joe Montana could throw an out that far to Jerry Rice on the sideline, I would say there's no way. There's no way. And watch Rice. He's running it up. Then he runs back. He turns Richardson around, makes a great catch, and just splits the two of them.
Todd Crum is number 44, and once Jerry Rice gets that step, it's good night, sweetheart.
Yeah, well, Crum had good position. He just made a poor tackle, or Rice made him make that poor tackle.
Over for the extra point. That shot is good, and so with 3:18 left to play first quarter, San Francisco leads 7-0.
That's the 49ers. They have to get the ball to Jerry Rice. And when they do, they win games because Jerry Rice scores touchdowns.
And the first time, the other time they played this year on a Monday night, Rice was not healthy.
Well, he had a bad ankle, and he was unhealthy for about 5 or 6 weeks. And he says when he was unhealthy, they were able to jam him because he couldn't move. Let's watch that move on the clicker. Here's Jerry Rice coming off the line. Now watch what he does to Rice. He's selling him right there. He's going deep. You see, and now Richardson starts to go deep. Now he makes the move back. Now watch him move right here. He makes on Crum. Here, boom. That's a heck of a move right there. Look at this. That looks like Gale Sayers or someone. And then the rest is academic. Those were two pretty good moves, getting open and then avoiding that tackle.
And Montana getting the ball to him. You know, Bill Walsh, to his credit, said that when they played in that Monday night game and the Bears won 10-9, he said most of it was my fault because I didn't have a very good game plan. I am to blame for that ball.
Yeah, well, he was so concerned about pass protection, he kept 9 guys in the block and only sent 2 out. Or 8 guys in the block because one's a quarterback.
Sanders fields the short kick from Cover. The 49 covered well. And the Bear offensive unit comes on. They trail 7-0. If you call 3 plays a drive, that's what they did, and that's how quickly they did it.
I'll tell you, if you have a guy like Jerry Rice in your team, you can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time.
It'll be first down, Bears at their own 37. With 3:07 left to play first quarter. San Francisco 7, Chicago nothing. Anderson and Suey are the runners this time. Thornton is on the move. Anderson outside the 40.
I'll tell you one thing, Mike Ditka has to be very upset because he said one of his goals, one of the things he thought is the most important thing to win this game was to score early. You know, he wanted to get ahead, play downhill, and let the defense take over the game.
Bears score first. They never lost in a playoff game.
The other thing, if they hold the team to under 17 points, they're 64-0.
Buster is the fullback this time behind McMahon. That's Thornton on the move. Hand off Anderson. 2 yards.
I think Anderson's one of those guys they just keep running and running and running, and somewhere he's going to break one. Like Ditka said, somewhere in this game, they're going to be looking at the back of Neil Anderson's jersey.
3rd and 5.
Look at those people up there, man. There's a lot of people with no faces.
They're intelligent, though.
They've got no faces on that group.
McMahon out of the shotgun this time. That's Gentry on the move. Hand off Anderson. First down Bear. Stopped by Fuller after a gain of 8.
This is one of the things they had in their plan. they wanted to make their corners tackle. They wanted to block the safeties and get out here with the guard. You see Thayer coming out here, Bort's coming out. Get them on the corners. You see Thayer take McKyer, just turn him around and upside down. That's the plan. They don't want to let the safeties make all the tackles. They want Griffin, who's coming off a dislocated shoulder, and the other corner, McKyer, to make tackles, to have to tackle.
McMahon to Anderson. Just couldn't quite keep his footing. Something the Bears, we've seen them do before, is split Anderson out of the backfield and make the other team's strong safety, in this case Fuller, cover him.
That's what they hope to do. They either want to get a linebacker out on him or a strong safety, hope they can get a mismatch. That's one thing. The other thing it does, it takes a guy like Fuller out of there so that you do have some running inside and he's not part of it.
49ers 7 and the Bears nothing. And McMahon takes a stroll to the sideline as you see the closing seconds of quarter number 1 run out. That's the end of quarter number 1 with the score. San Francisco 7, Chicago nothing. Soldier Field, Chicago, the NFC Championship game. The 49ers 7, the Bears nothing. As we get ready to start the second quarter, the winner to go to Joe Robbie Stadium and face Cincinnati in the Super Bowl of 1988, which of course will be played in 1989. McMahon fakes to Anderson. From Ron Morris. William Perry.
There's a guy who hasn't played for a while, broke his arm, and remember the last time in '85 when the Bears went to the Super Bowl, he was such a big part of it. Tell you, I don't know what kind of coat that is or what animal, but it sure took a lot of them to make that thing. Whatever it is, I mean, usually the animals that make those big coats are little old animals.
So you're right, it did take a lot of them.
I think it's a world record.
The heaviest man ever to wear a Chicago Bear uniform. Here's McMahon. Muscles out of the pocket, incomplete. Intended for Dennis McKinnon over his head. Richard Dent, and there's the guy they really miss.
I think so. I think of all the guys they've missed, of all the injuries they've had, this one was the biggest. I think that as a pass rusher, as a defensive end, Richard Dent is the best in the league. And you can see who he was talking to there, number 97. That's Sean Smith, the guy who has taken his place.
It took a lot of animals to make that coat too, John.
Yeah. Believe it, too. That's a world record.
Taylor gets it on the hop. Is out of bounds at about the 22. Stopped by Shannon. 14.5 minutes left to play in the first half. 14:36 to be exact. 49ers up by a touchdown. We talk so often about how important it is to get ahead early, particularly in playoff games like this. But in weather like this, it's more important, don't you think?
I think so, and especially when you're the visiting team like the 49ers are. And we looked at that pass. I thought that throw by Joe Montana was one of the best throws I've ever seen him make. We know about Jerry Rice, the catch, the move he made, the touchdown run. But for Montana to be able to throw that ball out there, I thought was amazing, Pat.
Remarkable. Montana again to throw it. Or come out of the pocket. He gets it upfield to John Frank. First down, 49ers, stopped by Harris, who dropped off the defensive scheme that time.
Well, you remember Harris was at one time a linebacker, and then he was one of those guys who sat out the year that the Bears went to the Super Bowl. So he's back here playing now, and I think as much as anyone on this Bear team. Al Harris would love to get back to that thing.
First down, San Francisco at their own 38. Taylor, wide right. Montana back to Craig. Roger Craig out of bounds in front of the 49er bench. Knocked out by Ron Rivera. A gain of 5.
Hey, this is a great matchup. Not this guy here, but Roger Craig running the ball on one side. He's the offensive MVP in the NFC. And then this guy, Mike Singletary, the defensive MVP in the other side. You talk about a matchup. I mean, that's like Muhammad Ali against Joe Frazier. And we got a fight going here or something.
2nd and 5. Montana back to Craig again with some room. Craig knocked out of bounds by Singletary. First down, 49ers.
It's amazing. Well, that's one thing when Roger Craig comes in to know, he knows that he's going to have this guy looking at him all day. He's going to look off to the right. He's going to look up, but he's always going to come back to number 33. Then watch him just go right down the line of scrimmage with him. Craig goes left, boom, right down the line of scrimmage. He turns up, whack, Singletary turns up.
San Francisco from their own 48-yard line. Rice had been split wide left and moves back inside now. Montana gets it outside to Taylor. As they move into Bear territory to about the 45, stopped by Mike Richardson after a gain of 8.
Now, if you wanted a clinic on a quarterback getting back and getting rid of the ball quickly, I think you're getting it right here in this first half from Joe Montana. I mean, the way he got back there and just got
Frank in motion. And Roger Craig hammers straight ahead enough for a first down. 49ers again, a gain of 4. Dan Hampton in the middle was the first man to hit him.
Well, they got a little push in there, that 49er offense. Randy Cross, Jesse Sapullo, Guy McIntyre. Watch the inside there. See, they get some movement. They get on those guys. They get them going backwards. Cross just keeps going. Boom, boom, boom. He keeps it blocking. And then Craig gets in there, and he just keeps his legs moving. There's a bunch of old Pistons going boom, 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 boom.
Craig, who was neutralized by the Bears in their regular season meeting, he only gained 31 yards. He's a remarkable athlete. Montana outside, Craig incomplete.
They wanted to hit that. That was one of those timing things that the timing never worked. Bill Walsh still working off his first 25 plays. He has that list of his first 25 plays. Then he will make adjustments after he runs that. You can see he's looking at that chart and still working off that first group of plays.
16 plays the 49ers have run. That was Steve Young who's signaling into Montana. Second down. A lot of time. Craig.
Montana to Craig.
Incomplete. But it really didn't matter.
Well, Al Harris dropped off that time. That's why he wasn't there. His responsibility is going to be Joe Montana when he rolls. But he's usually going to rush. This time you see Al Harris, he's working out there on John Frank. He's dropping off, kind of covering Frank and Roger Craig. So when Montana rolled out to the right, there was no one there to contain him.
3rd and 10. Taylor left, Rice right. Montana slipped down. Again, that part of the field is nothing but sand, and now it's starting to be frozen sand.
Montana never did get his footing. Watch as he stops back. He's going to go to trip. He trips over one foot, and then he can't plant with his left one. He slides. That was a double dipper. The trip got him at first, and then he couldn't plant.
Barry Helton back to punt it. McKinnon deep for the Bear. It's a pretty good kick. end zone before they got to it. They'll bring it back to the 20. Almost for the 49ers. They almost downed it. But the Bears will take over at the 20, trailing 7-0. 49ers on a 61-yard touchdown pass from Montana to Rice, lead at 7-0. Let's go down to Irv Cross. Sorry, Irv, we'll be back to you. Bears out of the huddle and ready to go. First and 10. Ball at their Bears 20. McMahon hit just as he got rid of it. Now, if Irv Cross is ready, let's go there.
In fact, standing outside the Bear locker room, some of the defensive linemen for the Bears have changed their shoes. Sean Smith and Dan Hampton started the game wearing his cleated shoe, but because the field is freezing and it's getting harder, they went to this sharkskin molded cleat to help their footing out there. You saw Montana slip down in that bad spot on the 50-yard line, so more and more Bears are expected to change their shoes as the game progresses. Pat?
Well, of course, down through history in the NFL, there have been a lot. There was a famous sneaker game between the Giants and the Bears back in the 30s. So before this one's over, that footwear could be a problem as well. Pass batted away as McMahon tried to throw. It was hit by Larry Roberts.
You know, there's the guy who's really come along for that 49er team is Larry Roberts. You know, if you just watch him, he's the second guy in here. Here's Charles Haley, their big rusher. Roberts right here is the guy who gets that knockdown. You see, he starts up there, Haley coming from the outside, just on a bull rush over the guard. Now you want to rush the quarterback as far as you can. Then when he goes to throw, you jump up.
McMahon 4 out of 11 for only 21 yards. But believe me, it's tough throwing or kicking or catching at Soldier Field today. McMahon. Morris. Covered by McKyer, but an 18-yard gain and a first down Bear.
Well, that's the third time that they threw that deep end out there. The first two times it was incomplete. Here it is, Morris, the outside guy, just running up and a little in on McKyer. Really wasn't that good a pattern. But you can see what McMahon has done. He's thrown 8 to his outside receivers, only completing 2. 3 to his running backs, completing 2, and 1 for 1 for the tight end. So usually when those outside guys, they're out coming in, and they're a little tougher to throw to.
And it's going to get tougher and tougher to play defense on this field as it gets harder. This is Anderson. Knocked out of bounds finally by Griffin. And again, as John Madden said earlier, we want to make their cornerbacks make some tackles.
Well, Mark Bortz, they got Mark Bortz, the left guard, leaning out there. They're trying to get out there, and as you said, make Don Griffin tackle. He's coming off an injury. He had a dislocated shoulder. Bortz here really made a nice block, and he was the guy that sprung the back to get a few more yards.
2nd and 3. Bears at their own 45. Out of the pocket and chased. Finally gets rid of it. It's picked off by Fuller. Intended for Gentry, but Fuller came up with it.
Hey, there is a guy who's having a heck of a first half in this game is Jeff Fuller. First of all, I think you have to give it to the 49er defense and the pressure. They're going to come up. They're going to get pressure up the middle. Then they're going to flush McMahon out to the right. Now he has to come out here and throw on the run, and then Fuller, for the coverage, being his guy, jumping up and making a catch. But the first part of that was a rush to pressure up the middle.
And that was Pierce Holt, who's really come on, too, for the 49ers, who put the heat on McMahon. Montana back to Craig. He gets to the 40. Stopped by Dewerson.
I'll tell you, watch the ball. You can see it right up in the upper left-hand corner. Watch what the wind is doing to it. Part of that could be McMahon, who's never been known to throw great spirals, anything. Anyway, but that thing was fluttering.
And you can see that's a pretty good indication. The flags atop the stadium are really ripping. Montana. And that's Rice. To the Bear 37, stopped by Vesti Jackson.
I don't know where Montana's gotten this arm strength. I mean, watch this one. You know, the first one, he threw the out, but here he's going to throw a slant. Not a good bump by Jackson, but I'll tell you, Joe Montana threw that thing into Rice there like it was shot out of a gun.
Inside the Bear 40, the 49ers with a 1st and 10. Craig, nothing. By McMichael.
You know, the Bears came in here with stopping this guy, Roger Craig. That was their #1 thing. They had to stop Roger Craig. But I think it's a little more than that. You know, that when you do that, you can stop Roger Craig, but you better pay a little attention to Jerry Rice. I mean, he's the guy that put that big 6 up on the board. He's the guy that last week put 3 of them up against the Vikings.
Rice is wide left this time. Taylor is to the right. Montana. Outside Craig. Nope. Soldier Field in Chicago for the NFC Championship game between the 49ers and the Bears. Pat Summerall, John Madden. And the winner of this one will go to Miami in 2 weeks, or go earlier than that, but play in 2 weeks against the Cincinnati Bengals. The wind gusting up to 25 miles an hour. Wind chill factor between -24 and -33 degrees. Rathman. He can hurt some people. 1st down, San Francisco.
Now there's an old-fashioned fullback. I mean, he's a guy who looked like he would have played for the Green Bay Packers under Vince Lombardi. He runs like a fullback. You know, they talk about the 49er team being a finesse team. Baloney. Watch this trap. And then watch Rathman. I'll guarantee you, this is not finesse running. This is old Nebraska football running. Old Green Bay Packer running.
McIntyre.
Jimmy Taylor.
McIntyre with a good block on Sean Smith. Then sprung Rathman. Here's Montana. Slipped momentarily. Gets it out to Rathman. Incomplete. Just over his head. Could have played for you too, I think.
I would have loved to have had Tom Rathman. I had guys like that. You know, Pete Banaszak was like Tom Rathman. One of those guys, tough guys always there. Marv Hubbard was like that. I mean, he reminds me a lot of that type of guy. You know,
Van Egan, maybe.
Van Egan, yeah. I mean, those are tough guys that you know come give everything they have and always looking for something or someone to hit.
2nd down and 10. Rice is the motion man. To Rice, touchdown.
Jerry Rice has become Superman these last 2 weeks. That's his 5th touchdown in 2 games. I'll tell you, that's the 5th touchdown Joe Montana's thrown in 2 games. You talk about championship football players, you're looking at 2 of them on that play. He got inside of Vesti Jackson again, and boom, Montana gave it to him right there. The next thing was the end zone.
Well, it's like you were saying last week before the Viking game at Candlestick Park. There were 3 guys who had to produce, who hadn't produced, and now they've certainly done it. Rice, Montana, and Craig.
Watch Montana here again. It's going to be a slant. He's looking all the way at Jerry Rice. And the minute he sees him get by Vesti Jackson, he gives him the ball.
They're not going to catch that guy. 14-0 with 7:25 left in the first half. Play 64 yards. The 49ers kept it 2:49, 2 minutes 49 seconds. Short kickoff goes to Muster. And Muster gets the Bears in pretty good shape outside of their own 45. A return of 21. Stopped by Sam Kennedy.
Let's watch the touchdown again. Here's Jerry Rice. Here's Vesti Jackson. Motion, motion. Then watch the move here. We'll let it go. See as Rice comes around. Here comes Vesti Jackson. Now right there, he has him beat. Watch it right there. Jackson keeps going out. Rice cuts up. Rice knows he has it. Puts his hand up. Montana gives it to him.
14-0 San Francisco. Bears have, as far as we can tell, the wind at their back right now, and they need it. Sanders to the 49er 46. Stopped by Haley, a gain of 8.
They can talk about bear weather and all that, but those Bears get around that heater too. They know how to do it. They know how to get around the heater, and they stick their gloves in there, get their gloves warm, and stick their hands in the gloves. They got all the tricks.
And Richard Dent knows where to sit, close to the heater.
Steve McMichael was sitting there. He didn't have any underwear on.
That's Sanders again, and he gets inside the 49er 45-yard line, stopped by Michael Walter. Picked up 2. Chicago's first 5 possessions. A punt, a punt, a punt, a punt, and an interception. That's why there's nothing on the board.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, you look at the total offense, 184 for the 49ers, 95 for the Bears. I think a lot of that credit has to go to the 49er defense. And, you know, the 49er team, you think of Montana, you think of Rice, you think of Craig. And usually if the 49ers are going to go anywhere, they go a long way when their defense plays well.
And that defense has been playing well, that 49er defense, the last month of the season, with the exception of the game against the Rams, the last one.
They're a good defense. They have a defense coordinator, George Seifert, who is an excellent coach. He was a guy talking to Montana. He's the one who calls the plays for the Bears now. Mike Ditka used to send in the plays, and this year he gave it to Greg Landry. Remember Greg Landry, the old quarterback?
Sure, for the Lions.
For years.
Bear first down. Thornton is the man on the move. This is Sanders. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he got a half yard. Maybe nothing. Charles Healy made the stop. He's become quite a player as well. Sanders limping just a bit.
I remember last time they played the 10-9 game, they really couldn't get Haley blocked. Then last week against the Vikings, he was a big pass rusher. He's kind of half linebacker, half defensive lineman. Watch him how he plays the back. Matt Suey went to block him. That wasn't a very good block or a very good effort by Suey.
Haley is very, very quick.
He's not a big guy as far as defensive linemen go. Very quick and fast.
McMahon gets it outside to Sanders, who's limping after the last play, but that limp got well in a hurry, and he gets another Bear first down.
And he made a move on a guy that you don't see get a move made on very often. He made Ronnie Lott miss in the open field. And after Lott missed him, Thomas Sanders picked up another 10 yards. Usually when you get Lott out in the open field out here, watch 42 come up. 42 usually wins this battle. That one there, Thomas Sanders won the battle. And then as a result of it, gets 10 more yards and a first down.
14-0 San Francisco, but a 1st and 10 Bears at the 49er 32.
Bears were pointing at the clock, saying that the 30-second clock wasn't running or running properly. Yeah, they just changed it. They were right. That was Keith Van Horn, the old tackle, picked that one out. Old number 78 saw that. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought he knew where the 30-second clock even was?
Oh.
Here's McMahon. Upfield to Thornton. And he's out of bounds at the 49er 13-yard line. Knocked out by Ronnie Lott.
James Thornton is a rookie tight end who Mike Ditka says has to come through for us. He has to forget he's a rookie. He has to become a man today. I look at that body and those arms. It looks like a man to me. But he says we need him now. I mean, they've lost Cap Bozo. The other tight end is out. Emery Moorhead is out. He said he's been here long enough that he shouldn't be a rookie anymore.
Not at this stage of this season. At the 14, Wendell Davis is split wide to the left. McMahon to Sanders. Romanowski made the stop after Sanders got 2 yards.
Well, their fullbacks aren't getting the blocks. We saw Suey not block Haley. That time was Brad Muster didn't get a block. And if you're going to be a running team and you're going to run to your tailback and your fullback's going to be the lead, fullback has to get a block. In this series, their fullbacks have missed 2 lead blocks, 2 different fullbacks.
You know, John Robinson, the Bears take a timeout with 3:52 remaining. John Robinson said the toughest thing for a fullback is to find out who to block. He's a master at teaching that. NFC Championship game, Pat Summerall, John Madden, 49ers leading the Bears 14-0. And it's brisk by Lake Michigan.
And it's supposed to be getting brisker.
Second and 9. Bears trailing by 2 touchdowns, but in range now. McMahon chased out of the pocket and complete. He just had to get rid of it. Intended for Wendell Davis. McKyer was the cover man. Kevin Fagan was the man in pursuit.
Did you see Kevin Fagan burst on him? You know, in years before, I mean, defensive linemen just kind of waddle. But I think Fagan, when he hit McMahon from behind, I think he hurt him. And you're going to see Fagan come from behind, 75. Now, once you put on the burst and hit McMahon there, I don't know if it's the knee or what. We can see if the knee collapsed. He's wearing 2 knee braces. I don't know what he grabs there. But it looked like a delayed type of thing. He's still bent over. Mike Tomczak has gone in.
Tomczak has come back. He went in the game, came back over to the sideline, and now he's loosening up over in front of the Bear bench.
He came back on the sideline to warm up,
right,
to take some snaps and get someone to throw to, because McMahon is leaving the game, and Tomczak will be going in.
The book on McMahon, 7 out of 16, 69 yards. The 1 interception by Fuller. And here comes Tomczak.
Tomczak has become a crowd favorite here. When Jim McMahon went down, he did an excellent job. And against the Green Bay Packers, he injured his left shoulder. Then he came back, started last week against the Eagles, and re-injured it.
3rd and 9. Tomczak will operate from the spread formation. Gives it to Anderson. To about the 7. A gain of 7. Stopped by Ronnie Lott.
And the Bears are going to have to kick the field goal here. There's no decision. I know being down 14-0, but it's still the first half. You got to go. You got to get points on the board.
Kevin Butler with Tomczak holding from 25 yards out. It is good, and it's 14-3 with 3:06 left to play in the first half.
Those are always the toughest points, and any football game are your first ones. I think when you get the opportunity, you got to take whatever it is.
14-3, 3:06 left. Next Saturday.
Just had the wind knocked out of him. You can see he's just trying to get his breath there. Kevin Fagan hit him from behind. I guess as he went to the ground, he had the wind knocked out of him. But they say that he is fine now, and he will be back.
And on a day like today, you can tell he's breathing. Here's the hit again.
Well, you'll see here. You'll see that's Neil Anderson going there. That's a different type of hit. There's hits on every play, though, now, if you watch them. But the one that got McMahon was Kevin Fagan coming from the backside and hitting him. And I think he looked like he lost his wind when he hit the ground. Here's the one we're talking about here. See him sprinting out to the right. 75 Fagan coming from behind. See, and it's right there is where he got the wind knocked out of him.
14-3. Wagner is doing the kicking off for the Bears. They say he gets the ball deeper. He didn't get that one deeper. Harry Sidney was the return man for the 49ers, and Lynch brought him down.
You know, Pat, we did the 49er Viking game last week. And 4 quarters in that game, and the first half of this game, I don't know that I've seen the 49ers as sharp as they've been in these 6 quarters. I mean, they got everything going. I mean, they got the defense flying around, making plays. The offense, Montana is very effective. Rice making big plays. The offensive line is doing an outstanding job.
Here's Montana. Out of the pocket. Gets it upfield to John Taylor. Taylor is still on his feet. Fumble. And the Bears have it. Picked up by Vesty Jackson.
I think that was Jim Morrissey that makes the tackle. Montana makes a nice move to get rid of it. Steve McMichael's pressuring. He steps up, steps up, steps up. Then he finds John Taylor. Taylor catches it going back the other way. Then he gets hit right there. Then I think it's 51, Morrissey it was. He comes from the back and strips him.
And Jim McMahon is back at quarterback for the Bears. Gentry comes left. McKinnon is to the right. Tight end brought down by Michael Walter, but a gain of 9.
You know, Thornton was from the Bay Area. When he was a kid, he went to a camp and he got a picture of him with Joe Montana. And he said in this game he was going to give it to Steve McMichael and ask him if he got a sack of Montana, if you'd ask Montana to autograph it. But he's from the Bay Area, Sebastopol.
And he has the Bear first down. 2-minute warning coming up.
There's an old defensive tackle getting some oxygen, man. That's a man taking in some more air.
Steve McMichael, 14-3 with 2 left in the first half. 2 minutes left in the first half. The 49ers 14, the Bears 3. Cincinnati has already beaten Buffalo. They'll be in the Super Bowl, and the winner of this one will play the Bengals.
Hey, the officials are getting smarter. You see that? That's Leo Miles over there, the official. Between plays, he runs over to the Bear bench and sticks his hands and gloves in that heater down there.
He came dressed as the Phantom of the Opera.
Well, you know, those guys, I don't think they get a little movement, but they have no adrenaline. They're not hitting anything.
First down, Bears. They have 2 timeouts left. Anderson in the backfield with McMahon. Screen pass, Anderson. Out of bounds at the 40 by Ronnie Lott. Gain of 7.
I'll tell you, this is NFL football. I mean, this is football in the pits in the Midwest, Chicago, Soldier Stadium for the championship. This is what it's all about. I mean, look at these people. These are the tough people. I mean, the players, they get to run around. Now, those people, they shouldn't even be there. That doesn't even count. If you can't get out in the elements, you shouldn't even go to the game. That's the worst thing. Those darn boxes up there and dome stadiums and stuff. We don't need that, right?
Well, I was out in the elements before the game, and I'm glad to have a heater close by.
Don't admit that.
Pierce Holt stopped Neil Anderson.
But I tell you, these guys don't feel it. These guys are just down there in the pits. They're going after it. And I think both lines are doing an outstanding job.
Pierce Holt made the stop, but it should be enough for a first down nevertheless.
I was talking to Jay Hilgenberg yesterday about Pierce Holt. He said, where'd that guy come from?
Yeah, right.
He said, our guards are both wondering who this Pierce Holt is going to line up against. There he is, number 78. He's only a rookie, 26 years old, and missed the first 8 games. But I tell you, he's one of those guys who brings a full revved up motor when he plays.
He is a guy, without question, you'd like on your side in any game. McMahon. Pass is caught by McKinnon. Clock run down to 1 minute remaining. Greg Cox made the stop.
I think the Bears can go back. If they can get a score here on this drive where they can change a heck of a lot of things in this game. Talk about momentum, that goes into the locker room with the 2. I'll guarantee that.
2nd and 1. McMahon, Fuller had a shot at it. Dennis Gentry was the intended receiver. Fuller almost had his 2nd interception of the day.
Jeff Fuller is the MVP of this first half defensively. This guy's all over the field. You run, he's up there making tackles. You see that? He has 4 tackles, 1 assist. He has an interception already. Almost had another one. He looks like a man possessed. He's all over the field. He was close to making the all-bad team a couple weeks ago. Remember, I went to practice. I caught him wearing pink shoes.
Right.
Boom, out. I said, you're out. Now he got the black shoes back in. The guy has a shot. We're still looking at him.
The handoff is to Anderson. Nudged by Lott and out of bounds.
Lott looked confused on that thing. He looked like he didn't know he was in the backfield. I bet you someone just called him a name because of it. But that was a funny thing the Lott did. I don't know what happened to him. Watch on the right of the screen. You'll see 42 come up. Right there. He just got turned around. He was getting blocked. Haley strings it out right down the line. There's Cox, 38. Griffin, you see coming off the dislocated shoulder, just run him out of bounds.
4th and 6, and all kind of people running on and off the field. And finally, the Bears call a timeout. They have 1 remaining. 14-3. The 49ers lead it with 41 seconds remaining, first half. Championship game, 14-3 49ers. In frigid weather at Soldier Field in Chicago.
Yeah, that was a strange play, that 3rd down. That, you know, the Bears were up their 3rd run and they lost 6 or 7 yards on that play. You'd think they'd have enough confidence just to bang something up inside.
Good kick this time. Fielded by Taylor. Who gets it out of bounds at about the 26. Rivera knocked him out of bounds. San Francisco takes over, and they have all 3 of their timeouts remaining with 30 seconds left.
Did you notice about fans in cold weather that when their team is ahead, they're a lot warmer? And when their team is down 14-3, they look like cold people that are thinking of leaving.
Snow flurries pelting down now.
Well, that's a way to take the crowd out of the game. The 49ers have done that. I mean, they've looked excellent this first half, and they really have taken this Chicago crowd out of this football game.
And they'll let it run out. And head to the locker rooms. 14-3, the 49ers lead. At the end of the first half, that's the score, is San Francisco 14, the Chicago Bears 3. That's the lakefront in Chicago, and the loop in downtown area behind it just being lit up. And go Bears, and they need to go. Reportedly, if the Bears would win this game, that sign was going to stay illuminated through the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
If you 15 degrees.
If you win, they all come out, Pat. You know that. I mean, isn't it something? Mayors have votes with each other. Isn't that stupid? I mean, the deal, this thing, the city councils have votes. Where are those people when you don't win? They all come out. I mean, the team wins. They all come out of the woodwork. They all jump. I mean, signs on buildings. Mayors have votes. They send, you know, it's all dumb. Either there, like these fans. I mean, these fans, they're here every week. Win, lose, years. This group in here, they're the real fans.
Not using a tee. Todd Crum holding the ball for Kevin Butler without the tee. And the kickoff goes deep to John Taylor, who brings it out at the goal line. And Taylor slips down at about the 20. Footing is going to be treacherous.
Mike Ditka had to talk to them, because look what the 49ers did in the first half, where they threw it to. Now, deep, none for none to the left, 3 for 3 to the middle, 1 for 1 to the side. And then underneath it was 0 for 0, 4 for 6, and 1 for 5. Of course, the big one over there to Jerry Rice.
Joe Montana, 9 out of 15, 2 touchdowns, both to Rice. To Roger Craig. There is nothing there. Rivera and Singletary stop Roger Craig.
As I was saying, I bet you that Mike Ditka really fired up this team, and some of the other players too, because the finality of it. You know, I mean, your season boils down to one half. The losing team will be forgotten. The winning team gets to play in the biggest game that we have in this game every year.
It's almost like last year you forgot who lost in the NFC Championship game. You know who won the Super Bowl, but you forgot about this game. Montana gets it outside to Ratton. He is cut down by Bestie Jackson.
I'll tell you one thing, on this first drive here, this Bear defense has come up, and they're playing at another notch than they did at the end of that half.
I like the forecast we had. Cold and dark. I knew that.
It's been one all day, and it's just getting to be the other.
That's right. On third down, Montana puts Rice in motion, and he goes back to throw it, and he gets it up the middle to Rice. That's going to be close to a first down. Maurice Douglas and Dave Dewerson stopped it.
Good pass protection. They just turned the tackles out. If you're going to rush Montana, you have to get, boom, right up in his face. You have to hit that gap between the center and the guard. The 49ers, you can see Randy Cross there is talking to Guy McIntyre. They were able to roll the middle out so that Montana could step straight up.
You talk about the 49ers. They've done an amazing job rebuilding that offensive line as well. First down, San Francisco. Montana gets it upfield to Taylor. That should be enough for another first down. The 45, 11 yards.
You know, Joe Montana's had a bad elbow and bad ribs and a bad side. We know about the bad back. And I thought he had lost some arm strength, but in the last 2 weeks, he has really gotten some zip back in that arm. I don't know exactly what it is. No, one time he lost some weight. He's gained the weight back. But today, he is zipping that ball.
And, well, he has to in weather like this, wind like this. That's Rathman straight ahead. Outside the 45, a pickup of 2, stopped by Dan Hampton.
You see that play, Pat? That's the old sucker play. Watch what they do is they take the left guard and they pull him this way to make this guy come. Then they run the back in there without any block. They call that a sucker trap. Watch the left guard. He's going to pull to his right. You see, the center blocks back, and they don't block those guys. And they're supposed to pursue it. When they don't, you run into an air ball.
That guy's played in there a long time. This is Craig. Out of bounds in Bear territory. Shoved out by Singletary. But he got 6 yards.
Hey, I think that battle's about even, that battle between Singletary and Roger Craig. The one that the Bears are losing or have lost in that first half is the one between Rice and the secondary.
3rd and 3. 49ers at the Bear 47. They lead 14-3. We're just underway in quarter number 3. That's John Frank on the move, and Montana back to throw it. And down he goes, up and out to Rathman. And Rathman hammers down to about the Bear 35 before he is stopped by Singletary. A pickup of 11.
I think Montana hurt his leg on that. I think he hurt his left hamstring. He's grabbing that. That's the second time that he slipped in that same area. But that's pretty good. Coming back, watch him to come back and then slip, then recover from the slip. You see, it's when he's planting both times, then step up, find the guy, and get a first down.
I think it's on that paint where they've got the Bear insignia that's frozen. The paint's frozen. This is Craig. He's not frozen. Craig to about the 25. Durison on the stop. 11-yard gain. Or close to it.
Well, the 49er offense has the Bear defense off balance, and they've done that with mixture. I think the thing that really started it when they were able to hit Jerry Rice. And then I think that took and softened up that Bear defense a little, where they just couldn't play run all day. And that's what Rice will give you. And now they don't know whether to play run aggressively, sell out for the run, or to play soft for the pass. And that's exactly where you want a defense.
You remember Bill Walsh saying last week before they beat the Vikings, and you asked him what he thought he had to do. He said, we just got to stay in sync. And they look like they're in sync for the last 2 weeks.
Well, they got in sync last week, and then they just kept it all week and brought it here to Chicago thus far today.
1st and 10, 49ers at the Bears 25, just outside it.
Bears are trying to fire this crowd up for one more shot for them.
Rathman. Spinning couple. Stopped by Steve McMichael.
I think the Bears realize here again the finality of this, and they're going to get a turnover. I feel if the Bears are going to get back into this game, they have to do it, one, with their defense, and by making a big play through a turnover. And you can see that they're going for it and going for getting turnovers, but they can't get them.
2nd and 7. Here's Montana back to throw it again. Outside the Rice. At the 5, out of bounds by Maurice Douglas. Another good throw by Montana.
I'll tell you, that was a great pattern by Jerry Rice. He's going to come in like he's going to the post and then go back to the corner. Watch him, 80 here. Now he comes like he's going in, and then he just goes back to the outside on Mike Richardson.
I thought he caught it too.
I did too. I don't know what he said no, because he didn't go out of bounds either. I don't understand that one. Maybe we'll see something here we didn't see with our raw eyes. I see what they're saying, that the ball hit the ground. I thought he was giving a signal he didn't have control before he went out of bounds. He's saying that he didn't have control. That's a heck of a reaction there.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know. They're not reviewing it. Oh, yeah, they are now. Now they're going to review it. think for effort you can give the guy a touchdown. I think if they do give the guy the touchdown, I think the game's over.
I think you're absolutely right. The ball did touch the ground. There's no question about that.
Well, watch Jerry Rice, how he makes the turn here.
Please reset the 45-second clock to 10.
Yep, I guess that's not a catch, huh?
I guess not.
10 seconds, please. 10.
I think that's one you could probably go either way.
I think that's probably right. It's going to stand as it was called, and that is that the ball did touch the ground and it's incomplete.
And I think they had to do that. I think they had to let it stand as it was called.
So it's 2nd and goal from the 5.
Jerry Rice is still some athlete with that play, though.
I'll tell you. Here's Roger Gray. Just nudged it inside the 5, run out of bounds by Singletary and Hampton.
I think the Bears defense knows right now when you just start this 3rd period and the 49ers have had the ball this long and it's 14-3, you got to keep them out of here. You got to make the play. Because if they get another one with the weather getting worse here, it can get to a point where it's almost impossible.
9:39 left to play. 3rd and goal at the 5 now. Rice is split wide left. Montana, touchdown. John Frank, the tight end. His 3rd of the day, Montana.
And then with the 3 last week, I'll tell you, 2 super games for Joe Montana. Joe Montana was looking on that pass for Jerry Rice, and he came back to John Frank. And I think that was a great drive on the road by the 49ers against a fired-up Bear defense coming out of a locker room.
That'll put out some of the fire. Montana's 15 out of 22, 245 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 to Rice, 1 to Frank. Cofer for the extra point with Young holding.
Kick is good.
Well, you remember the Super Bowl we did in Detroit, in Pontiac, Cincinnati, and San Francisco.
Could very well be a repeat of those same 2. A little different coaching staff on one side, though.
9:33 left in the 3rd, and the 49ers lead it 21-3.
For a half-century and more, business travelers have depended on United Airlines to get them to their most important meetings. United, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
Motor Trend's Car of the Year Award. The automotive industry has always taken it seriously. And 3 of the last 4 years, Ford has taken it home. This is Ford's latest award winner, the new Thunderbird SC. It's not only Motor Trend's 1989 Car of the Year, it's further evidence Ford is winning the world over.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Still Chicago, and it is frigid.
And I bet you when they look back after this game, Pat, that both teams will probably say that was the biggest drive of the game.
Gentry. Flag on the play. Stopped by Sam Kennedy, but a penalty marker is down.
It's one thing. Have you ever noticed over the years that you see fewer and fewer penalties in championship games? I know the officials are an all-star crew. Now, maybe that's the reason. The players are maybe playing at a little higher level. That could be the reason.
Block in the back, number 88, during the return.
I think also it could be
10 yards,
the philosophy, hey, let them play.
I think there's some of that, too. And I think that maybe if that were taken all year, it would be a better game. Because it happens every year, every championship game, and in the Super Bowl, you won't see a lot of penalties called either.
The 49ers have not been penalized at all, and the Bears only twice.
No, and the 49ers were one of the most penalized teams in the league this year.
That was Suey in motion. Here's McMahon. He has to get rid of it in a hurry, and he does to Anderson. And he got 4 or 5, maybe. Charles Haley, the defender, number 94.
See, that was a big touchdown for the 49ers because now they can play a softer defense and just not let the Bears get a big one. Let them have that underneath stuff. Let them push the pile a little. Let them do a little inside running, but don't get the big one or don't get the quick one. They can play a totally different game on defense now.
2nd and 6. McKinnon with the move, man. This is Anderson again. Out of bounds at about the 46 by Jeff Fuller. Anderson has been hurting, and he is staying down now.
He's had a bad leg, and it's been a pull in the leg area. It's been a hamstring and a groin. There, he looked like there's a face mask there, and that looked like the first thing that hit the ground was his head.
Fuller made the stop. Big, strong guy for a defensive back. 6'2", 216, and he's one of the people you got to be concerned about when you play the 49ers. Here's McMahon. Incomplete. McKyer made the hit on McKinnon.
Hey, McKyer is happy. That's Neil Anderson that's still down over on the Bear sideline. McKyer was waiting in there for McKinnon. Now, I know it's easy to say that McKinnon heard footsteps. I don't believe that because Dennis McKinnon is one of the toughest wide receivers in the National Football League.
2nd and 10. The Bears with the ball at their own 47. 49ers leading at 21-3. Musters, the motion man, Sanders. 49ers have it. Haley scooped it up.
Blocking up front. Again, it's a draw play. They're just picking up the stunts. They want to let them run by. Let them run by and get to the quarterback. Then you just break it through on a draw. As they started through, he just got the ball knocked out of there. Michael Walter. Watch 99. 99 is the guy who's going to knock it out of Sanders' hand. See, he stuck his right hand in, knocked it out of Sanders' left hand.
So the 49ers take over at the Bear 49. Craig on the move. The handoff is to Rathman, and he rambles to about the 43. Stopped by Singletary and Hampton. Neil Anderson finally up. He stayed down on the ground a long time after he was knocked out of bounds after that run. He has 56 yards and 13 carries from Graceville, Florida. Not used to this kind of weather.
Well, he's been used to it for a few years while he's been here for the Bears.
Yeah, right.
He's going to take Walter Payton's place and play as long as him. He better get used to it.
Rathman hit behind the line and stopped finally for no gain by Singletary.
I think if I had to take a 49er player and say that who is probably the most underrated player on this team, I would go with Tom Rathman. I think that, you look at the statistics and say, who's the third leading receiver, for example, on the team? Well, Craig and Rice are 1-2, but this guy here's the third leading receiver in the team. You know what he does as a blocker. You know what he does as a runner. He's on special teams.
He averages 4.2 yards per carry. An asset. Montana has Roger Craig as the lone setback again. He stumbled on that same spot. Montana scampered for a first down. Again, for an update on what it's like down on the field and the weather, let's go to Irv Cross.
Pat, everybody's talking about the weather in Chicago this weekend, but nobody knows more about it than Steve Baskerville, our weatherman here at WVBN. Steve, what are conditions here tonight?
It's 18 degrees out there now. The wind chill factor is 20 below because the wind's out the west at 21 miles an hour.
I mean, it's getting warmer, but we're still cold?
It was cold at the start of this game than it is now, but I'm still cold. I don't know about you.
I'm still cold, too. And by the way, the field is frozen, Pat.
I'm sure it is, and so are we, and I know you are too, Irv. Here's Montana back to throw it. Up top to Taylor. Complete in the end zone, covered by Vesey Jackson.
I'll tell you, you know, you talk about underrated players. I'll show you another one. This guy here is really playing well. Right there, Steve Wallace, the left tackle. Just watch him. Last week he had Chris Dolman, and he handled Dolman. I don't know that Dolman made a play. Watch him out there on Sean Smith. You haven't seen him around there. I tell you, this is a guy who's just starting his first year as a starter. But he has been playing that open side tackle these last couple of weeks. Excellent.
2nd and 10. It's Rathman trying again. Up the middle. 2 yards. Hampton on the stop.
There's Dan Hampton right down here in the middle. Let's watch him play. He's moved from end to tackle this year. He has not only that size and strength, but those quick moves. You see how he just made one of those swim techniques, threw his left arm over, and he's right in the backfield. He can't even touch him.
3rd down. Montana semi-rollout, chased by Hampton, who was cut down. Incomplete. Out of bounds. Rice was the intended target. Rathman cut down Hampton.
Well, one thing the Bears didn't expect is Montana to roll to the left. Watch Rathman come back in here. We talked about how he runs, how he catches, but that's the other thing that he does. And again, at that, he's one of the best. That's why Roger Craig is the MVP in this league.
Because of Rathman.
Because of Tom Rathman.
Helton will punt it. Bears look like they'll put the heat on, and they do. Not much in the way of distance. 13 yards, in fact. That won't get you in the finals. 21-3 with 5:52 left in the 3rd quarter. It's the NFC Championship at Soldier Field, Chicago. 49ers leading the Bears 21-3. We're in the 3rd quarter with 5:52 left. Pat Summerall, John Madden. It is cold and uncomfortable unless you're a 49er.
Yeah, I bet those 49ers, they're probably even sweating good down there.
1st down, Bears at their own 21. Jim McMahon, quarterback. Pass complete to Matsui. But as John Madden pointed out before, they'll give them all those they want.
That's the thing. You see, now they can play a softer defense. Watch the blocking down here with Jay Hilgenberg on Michael Carter. You see, the thing Hilgenberg wants to do is get that hand up there quickly. See, by getting that left hand up, he can stop Carter there and then just let him get pushed a little to McMahon and still give him time.
I like his hat. 2nd and 6.
Never seen that one before. Yellow one.
McMahon gets it out quickly to Thornton. To the 40. Stopped by Ronnie Lott. A gain of 15.
Hey, this guy's a man, this Thornton guy. I mean, watch him come out here. He's the tight end. McMahon is watching him all the way. He's going to go back, hit Thornton on that little look-in type of thing, and then let him run away like a truck or something. Look at the size of that guy's arms and shoulders and stuff. They really really can't afford to lose their tight end because now they have to play another rookie, Brent Novoselsky, the only other tight end they have.
That was Davis in motion, and McMahon flips out of the pocket. And now he's going to take off with it. Close to midfield. Stopped by Walter. That's Thornton over on the Bear bench. Bears alternating fullbacks to get the plays in. First down for them.
The Bears have to think of getting a quick strike here. I mean, they have to get something to work on.
Beg your pardon, he did not get a first down. It's 2nd and 1.
It kind of helps them because then they can go for a big one here.
Anderson over the right side.
In that situation, a play pass would be an excellent call, you know, and go for the big one. Then if you don't get it, you always have 2 downs to get the first down again.
They get the first down. Anderson 14 carries, 59 yards, and the Bears get into 49er territory, trailing 21-3 with just over 3 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. About 5.
See what the 49ers can do again is play that softer defense, play the zones, let them have that short stuff, and then converge and gang tackle. And I think that last play was a perfect example of that. Watch the convergence on this. Watch, they'll drop back. Now it's a screen. Now watch the pursuit and all the white jerseys around there. You want to get this played like a triangle. You want a guy on the outside, inside.
Bears 3, minute 46 left in the 3rd. A minute 46 left in the 3rd quarter. Here's Roger Craig, caught for punts.
Yeah, that's the only guy that can go down when the ball snaps. So they always put 2 out on him, and it's usually 2 pretty tough guys. Watch that 38 of the 49ers, Greg Cox. He's one of the tough rookies in this league.
2nd and 12. Just over a minute left in the 3rd quarter. 49ers up 21-3. Montana trying to make himself heard. Back to throw it. Maybe. To the 20. Knocked down by Jim Morrissey.
One of the things about Montana, there was a period this year where he was starting and not starting, and when he would get a rush, he would go down easily. He would see something like that, and he would just go down. These last couple of weeks, he's gone back to the old Joe Montana. Have you noticed that? He felt the rush, the unblocked guy, boom, he takes the ball up the middle.
Took on Morrissey too. There was no sliding.
No, he's a changed guy. He's playing with a lot of confidence now.
To Roger Craig. Craig about a yard shy of a first down, I think. Stopped by Singletary. Keep that clock running.
Yeah, we were talking about, you know, that Jim McMahon may be traded, or there's talking about that. Well, there was a lot of talk about Joe Montana not only being traded, with Steve Young starting, Joe Montana being through. I don't think any of those above are going to happen.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter then, with the score: San Francisco 21, the Chicago Bears 3.
You know, Pat, this is a 49er coaching booth. This is Denny Green right here, one of the assistants who was just named head coach at Stanford this past week. So he's been kind of working both. He's been working as a Stanford head coach and a 49er assistant coach.
McKinnon fields the punt and slipped down as that part of the field is getting harder and harder. George Toma, who the NFL brought in to help The maintenance people here with the condition of the field, or attempt to, said the field would be frozen by halftime, and that's pretty much in evidence. We'll return to Soldier Field after this word from your local station. Old Pat Summerall, John Madden, and it's frigid Soldier Field as the 49ers lead the Bears 21-3. With that wind chill factor, it's dropped back down now to 20 below. Gentry split wide to the right. McMahon back to throw it. Going deep for Gentry. Incomplete. Tim McKyer with excellent coverage. It's hard to throw it in that direction that deep.
And the Bears are forced to do that now. I think that's what we saw. The 49ers, by coming out, getting that drive in the third quarter, getting ahead 21-3, then playing a softer defense, and now getting into the fourth quarter, have forced the Bears to have to press now, and they have to try and get the ball deep. They can't sit and dink off and do those type of things. They have to get a big one.
2nd and 10 now. Bear ball at their own 40. The handoff is to Sanders. The 49ers are equal. Romanowski and Fagan. Fuller.
I think that's a big thing. Fuller, they really haven't been able to keep him out of there.
Thermometers down on field side. And you can see every reason why it would be difficult to maintain any sort of traction. Sanders is an injured Bear. We have 14:26 left to play, with the 49ers leading 21-3. 1-3. The 49ers over the Bears. Here's that last play again. Play by Fuller.
And we were talking about Fuller being all over the place. He has the interception. When they throw, he's back there, and when they run, he's up on the line of scrimmage. Jeff Fuller's having a career day today. They thought the guys from San Francisco, the weather would bother them. 20 below, they couldn't play. I'll tell you one thing, both sides of the ball, this 49er team has played today.
3rd and 13. There's McMahon. And again, he's chased out of the pocket. Finally gets it. Can't find a handle. And the Bears will have to punt it.
I can think now that you can see the frustration on the Bears, both sides, both their offense now. I think we saw it the last time the defense was in there. Again, you can see it slipping away. They can feel it slipping away. But I think all the credit goes to the 49ers because they made it slip away.
John Taylor back deep for the 49ers. Ryan Wagner, the Bear punter, off the side of his foot again. Tough to kick today. Taylor is hit down at about the 30, maybe the 31-yard line. 37-yard punt. It turned out to be a return of 6. Next weekend, don't forget, next Sunday, a couple of guys might have made it today. That's for Taylor. Incomplete. Bestie Jackson, the defender, at the last second.
John Taylor's trying to say he was being held. That's right. There are some guys in this game that are going to make it today. I think some guys should make some team just for showing up and performing in this type of weather, because it really hasn't been evident. The minus 20 hasn't been evident in the play.
And it looks so, as you and I were talking before the game, it looks so innocent from up here.
Oh, when you're just looking at it in pictures, it is innocent. Everyone said, oh, what are they talking about weather? Get down there, it's a different world.
That's Rice on the move, and this is a handoff to Roger Craig. Craig to about the 38. Gain of 9, stopped by Maurice Douglas. And they keep that clock running.
One thing is this game speeds up, Pat. Sometimes you get the feeling that you play faster in cold weather. If you notice that the teams don't tend to spend as much time in the huddle. I mean, it's kind of boom, get in, get out, and go play. And they don't want to spend a lot of time standing around. They want to get with action.
Dan Hampton just came out. Dick Shapura took his place. Hampton has had 7 knee operations. Here's the reverse to right. And a first down for the 49ers. Well executed. Stopped by Harris. There's Mike Tomczak.
Well, you know, yesterday when I talked to McMahon, he told me that on the airplane coming back from Swanee, Georgia on Friday, Mike Ditka came up to him and says, "You're going to start because I think you're the healthiest." And he said, "The other reason is you're 3-0 against the 49ers. And he said, "But I'll tell you what, if you don't do well, I'm going to take you out of there." Of course, it's a fourth quarter until he does it.
They haven't been able to get anybody open. That's Craig again. He is stopped by Shapura.
There's a guy, 13 years in his league. He's been on the 2 49er teams that won the Super Bowl. 49ers get the win here today. That'll be Randy Cross's 3rd Super Bowl. And I think that, as he says, the closer you get to the end of the career, the more important they are to you.
Of course, John, on the other 2 Super Bowl teams, he was a guard. And he's made that transition to center now and sort of anchored the 49er offensive line.
He sure has. One of those guys who always gets the job done.
Timeout, 49ers. Montana didn't care for what he saw. And so he stopped it and went to the sideline. San Francisco, Craig trots in motion, and Montana's going to put it up.